But the reality is, throughout our country, we are engaged in a battle to preserve the cause of liberty. Ronald Reagan used to say that freedom is only one generation away from extinction, that it's not something that's passed along in the bloodstream. It must be cultivated and it must be protected. And I must say, for most of my adult life, while I appreciated the sentiment, I thought it was a little bit of hyperbole. You know, after all, we're Americans, right? Isn't freedom in our DNA? But I got to tell you, I don't think you could have lived through the last few years and think that President Reagan was wrong. He was right. Freedom is fragile. It can be squandered. And we're very proud in Florida of earning the moniker of the free state of Florida, but that was not preordained. We came very close 4.5 years ago to taking a much different path. I got elected governor in 2018 by 32,000 votes out of more than 8 million votes cast. Less than 0.5% was my margin of victory. And to be honest, that was not out of character for Florida. The previous decade, if you looked at governor races, president races, 2010, 12, 14, 16, 18, yeah, thank you.
Jews against DeSantis! Jews against DeSantis! Jews against DeSantis!
You got to have a little spice in the speech, right? I mean, you got to have a little fun. Why you'd want to pay the ticket to get in just to do that, I don't know, but different strokes for different folks. So if you look at Florida's history, governor race, president race, 2010, 12, 14, 16, 18, all 1-point races. We were the quintessential swing state with a very delicate political balance. So when I was getting ready to take office, people told me, listen, this is a divided state, very close election. You don't want to do anything that's going to upset this balance and maybe tip the scales in the Democrats' favor. So keep your head down. Don't make any waves. Just bide your time and kind of lay low. And I understood that advice. Honestly, it wasn't crazy advice, but I rejected that advice. My view was, I may have earned only 50% of the vote, but that entitled me to wield 100% of the executive power, and I intended to use that to advance the cause of freedom and to advance conservative values in the state of Florida. I understood the different levers of power. I understood the constitutional power, statutory. I understood you had an agenda that you got to fit through a constitutional system of checks and balances, but we were ready to do that. I also said, you know what? When I take office, I am not doing any polls to tell me about different issues. And to this day, I've never taken a single poll as governor about any issue that I've dealt with in the state of Florida. Leaders don't follow polls. Leaders get ahead and they lead and they deliver results, and then the polls move in their direction.